Hi everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination reading for the sign of Aries. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. This reading is going to be taking a look today, Aries, at what your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time. Now, once we pull the cards, I'll dive a little deeper into that area of focus. We'll look at a block or a challenge around that area. We'll look at advice from Spirit as to how to overcome it, and then we'll look at what's due to come in on the other side of that for you. So an area of abundance or spiritual growth that wants to come in. I hope you are all having a wonderful start to Sagittarius season. I know it's one of my favorite seasons personally. I love it because it does bring in the energy of the holidays here, especially with Thanksgiving, as I am in the United States. And we're looking forward to the Christmas holiday, which is always exciting for me. Got the house all decorated already. Okay, so we have for you, what you're coming in with here, Aries, is the Hierophant, the Four of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups. Now, as I start to pull some of the other cards, that's a little too many there. Let's see if we can pull just a few, one or two, please, for the area of focus. Now, as I'm pulling the rest of the cards, we'll get right into this, Aries. So the Hierophant is a card that speaks to our beliefs. It's the rules and the regulations and the kind of higher systems of thought and organization in our society, in our government, in our religion that we choose to believe in and follow. It can also represent, when we're looking at it as internal energy like this, this can be where we are kind of looking at our own internal high priest, so to speak, the version of ourself that does set those rules and belief systems for ourselves that are kind of outside, perhaps, of, there's a sense of autonomy for this Hierophant, for me, for you guys. There's a sense of really looking at what is true for you. Now, with the Four of Pentacles, there's a sense here of holding back, especially in the physical. The Four of Pentacles can speak to getting to a place where, okay, you have just enough. You've built a firm foundation in the physical in some aspect of your life. But there's a sense now of clinging to that, of not wanting to kind of rock the boat, not wanting to invest in something. There's a sense of not wanting to risk anything. And what can happen is when we get to that place in our life, we can end up getting a little stuck. You can see here how this individual has a pentacle or a coin on his head, below each one of his feet, and especially right in front of his heart. And that represents that when we get so focused on trying not to change anything in the physical, and especially working with the element of risk, there can be a sense here where we actually start to block ourselves emotionally because we are no longer spiritually growing. We start to get more and more emotionally detached from our life experience and more focused on the physical. Now, which is interesting as I'm saying that here, because what your soul is illuminating for you is the King of Pentacles energy. So the King of Pentacles brings up themes of mastership, or really having mastered the art of working in your physical environment. This is someone who knows how to manage their time, someone who knows how to manage their finances, someone who knows also knows their value in the physical world and understands how to yield that. So this is someone who would go into a new work environment and do so with full knowledge of what they bring and demand that they are compensated fairly for that. So this is not a novice energy. This is someone who, again, has risen to king status. Now, going back to your internal energy, with the Three of Cups coming in here, there's a little bit, Aries, of a focus on, there's a sense here of holding back or clinging a little too much to the physical, and there may be a chance that you might be missing out a little bit on, with the Three of Cups coming in, that celebratory energy, that energy of friendship, of tribe, of community. And it may be because there's a part of you that maybe your belief systems you feel are not, it's almost like your belief systems are getting in the way of what you actually want to experience. Like, so when we look at it here, now the Hierophant can also speak to commitments. This can speak to commitments, again, to what we believe in or what we've chosen to believe in and follow. So this could be a marriage. This could be committing to a business opportunity. This could be committing to dedication to family, something along those lines. But there's a sense here of a disconnect where here's the Hierophant. So let's say this represents a marriage. This is your commitment to your family or your significant other. And yet there's a sense, instead of being able to maybe enjoy celebrations with your significant other or finding community with others with your significant other, and maybe this would be like where you go out with another couple or you celebrate holidays with your family, since obviously that's coming up. It's a very, very timely example there, that in the middle of this, there's a sense of this could be where you are choosing to maybe not buy those plane tickets to go see your family and to celebrate a holiday with them because there's a sense of kind of clinging to the physical. Or you maybe don't invite people over to your new house because it's not 100% perfect and you need to keep working on the house. And there's a sense of like clinging to something in the physical so much that it's almost preventing you from enjoying what you have with others. And it could actually be, if this is not like an actual commitment to a person, like a marriage, or a commitment to a business or, family or something like that. This could be where a belief system is holding you back. A belief system maybe that you have, this can be, for instance, where that belief system could be that you don't have enough. Maybe you've worked many, many years and there's a big chunk of time where you didn't have enough. And so you had to save and save and save. And yeah, maybe you did have to not go on those, you couldn't buy that plane ticket to fly home for the holidays. Or maybe you did have to not go on vacation, take time off for 5 years. There's something like that coming in where there was that belief system and dedication and commitment to like, I'm going to save this much, or I'm going to be financially responsible because that's what my family has told me to do, or what society's told me to do. Or this could even be, for some of you, even hiding almost like a belief system, like a religion, like maybe you've since converted to a religion or something along those lines. And there's that sense of, maybe not wanting to, there's like a fear of, if I share that with others, it could risk my bottom line, kind of thing. But it's almost more like there's this fear of committing in the physical, maybe spending a little bit more, maybe spending more time with people, because Pentacles can be time. It can be just anything in the physical, really. But I get this feeling of kind of clinging to something that's preventing you from getting into this place of truly feeling comfortable with others as well. This feeling of celebrating with others who can celebrate with you as well. And at the heart of that, there's something around money, something around the physical experience. And maybe this could even be for some of you where there's a feeling of not wanting to maybe charge enough for your services, not wanting to put yourself out there and, go and get that audience with your boss perhaps and say, I'm worth more than this. There's a sense of that a little bit. And it's like a hang up that's actually preventing you from really being able to, I think, enjoy the success and the company and the support systems that you're seeking. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Cups underscored by the Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Eight of Cups is about walking away from something that you have put a lot of emotional investment into, but that which is no longer emotionally supporting you. So this could look like you put a lot of time and energy into a work environment, and now you're looking at it going, maybe they are not willing to compensate you maybe there has been that sense of, okay, you kind of clung to the status quo for a long time, but now you do have that experience. You have the Hierophant can also be having a bigger vision for something. For some of you, this could actually be that maybe you have that bigger vision for the company or the bigger vision for your skill set, and yet you're afraid to take that leap. You're afraid to take that jump into actually applying that out there in your life experience. But there's a sense here at the Eight of Cups that it's time to walk away from something that no longer serves, that is no longer, again, emotionally supportive of you. Now, with the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, there's a sense here of actually almost walking away from something, either walking away from a comfort zone. So the Knight of Pentacles is about planning. It's about careful, forward, kind of that forward projection of, if I do X, Y, and Z, this will be the return on my investment, or this will be the harvest that I reap. The Nine of Pentacles is where we get to that beautiful place of actually reaping the harvest. We get the chance to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We generally at this point are somewhat financially independent, or we have a lot of time to just enjoy, again, our life experience. But there's a sense of, we can't just kind of rest on our laurels here, that this can be actually become the gilded cage, because we get into a comfort zone at that point. And it can actually be sometimes where we're kind of in a walled garden of our own making, and maybe we're not actually sharing it with others. It's like we've achieved so much, but are you actually going out there and do you have that significant other to share all that wealth with? Do you have the family that you get to share that money with? There's that sense kind of coming in here. And so for some of you, there might be an opportunity to walk away from a comfort zone, or to walk away from perhaps a perspective that this is all there is, which is very interesting. Now, keep in mind that what your soul is illuminating for you is the King of Pentacles. There's something here, a lesson wanting to be learned, or something around how far you've come, Aries, I think. And there's a sense of really taking a look at your own self-value, your self-worth, your relationship with your self-worth, and how you wield that in the physical. And are you perhaps kind of dimming your light? Are you, again, allowing somebody to not pay you enough? Is there someone who's not appreciating you? And this could, again, come back to a belief system that either you have to save, or it could be a belief system of don't question that, the hand that feeds you kind of thing, like how dare you go to your boss and demand a raise? There's all kinds of things that can come into play like this. But there's also a sense for some of you that if you are in a committed relationship, there could be a holding back of just kind of leaning into enjoyment of the experience, and that could come from past pain. And as I say that, here comes the Lovers. So yeah, there's something here perhaps where maybe for some of you there is a fear of like, I can't just lean in and enjoy the ride, kind of, or enjoy the celebratory time, because I have to keep working. There's that sense of like, but I have to keep saving, but I have to keep doing everything because I've committed to this. I've committed to this long-term goal. I've committed to being, having so much in the bank. And there's a sense of maybe walking away from a certain way of looking at money, maybe a certain way of choosing to not apply your value in the physical fully, for fear that maybe others won't support you. But there's also a sense for some of you of maybe you're holding back from sharing with others in your life experience a belief system, something that you've committed to. This could be where like you really want to, I'm trying to think of a good example here. This could be like where maybe you have gone into the world of, I don't know, like this, tarot, astrology, all of that. And yet maybe most people in your life maybe really follow a specific religion that specifically would look down or not approve of what you do. or your belief systems now, and there's a sense, so you don't talk about it, you don't tell them about the tarot business you started on the side, or you don't tell them about the other groups maybe you want to join. And there's a sense of kind of holding yourself back out of fear, because again, there might be this sense of rocking the boat, of loss coming through. And there's the Three of Cups at the heart of your reading. Yeah, so this is what Spirit's highlighting for you here. The Three of Cups is the advice from Spirit as to really, I think, kind of break through the bubble as to your own self-worth and how you wield that in the physical, and how you also bring in your own belief systems into all of this, and how you commit to your life experience. So you have the Lovers and you have the Emperor as your main point of challenge. And that really, this is kind of like a conflicting energy here that I'm feeling intuitively. There's a sense of, with the Lovers, of choosing what you love, leaning into that kind of vulnerable, letting your heart decide. And then there's the Emperor, and I get this feeling, now the Emperor is your card, Aries, in the major arcana. It does bring in some energy of Taurus as well, but I see it predominantly as an Aries energy. And there's a sense of really wanting to kind of like sit on your throne. And there's a little bit of a battle I'm feeling here between partnership, maybe leaning into partnership, or again, your relationship with letting your heart choose, letting, if you have a belief system, let's say you do love tarot and astrology, it's just saying, in order for you to ascend to the throne, in order for you to really sit in this emperor seat, you have to first admit to yourself your own belief system, what you love, and really stay firm in that. And let your heart choose that for you, instead of maybe perhaps kind of trying to assert your authority in other areas. Like this would be like, sticking with a 9-to-5 job that they don't pay you enough. And you're not the kind of person who's going to go in and demand a raise. And your heart yearns to be recognized. Your heart yearns to find a job that's fulfilling, where you are celebrated by others, where you have that sense of maybe community, and you're doing work that you really love. And it's almost like that sense of like, once you let your heart choose that, then you can really ascend to this emperor status, instead of perhaps maybe staying at that 9-to-5 job where you're not happy and trying to maintain this level of emperor status of like, what I'm saying goes, almost like trying to, let's say, how can I put this? I know this because I've had a lot of experience with this myself in the past. It's like trying to stay in a system that doesn't work for you, or that you don't believe in, and trying to fight the system. That's what this kind of comes down to. It's like, instead of finding your own outlet or applying, this would be like staying in a job that they don't appreciate you, or they undervalue you, or you feel in and of yourself that you are just making barely enough, or you're just getting to that level, and maybe the way that their company's structured is not the most efficient way, or it goes maybe even directly against your own belief system. This could be like working for a company where they, for a fact they have shady dealings in other countries, and you don't like that. This could be where you work for a company that, the people at the top don't care for the people at the bottom, And so you sit here, and there might be that sense of trying to assert your authority in that situation, trying to show them how they can change, you might spend more energy fighting the system instead of choosing a new path that focuses on what you love, that is more in alignment with your belief system. So this would be like you continuing to do that, instead of saying, what, I know for a fact there is a world full of job opportunities out there. Why don't I instead try to embrace, with the Three of Cups, embrace others who see eye to eye with me, who celebrate the same things I do, who want to come and match me cup to cup, because that's what the Three of Cups can also be. This can be people who, it's a sense of community with others who see and believe and feel the same way that you do. And there could be the sense of having to kind of find that for yourself. It's like, instead of fighting a system that doesn't care for your knowledge, care for your what you bring to the table. It's about finding that in someplace else instead. And that could be the Eight of Cups walking away from the Nine of Pentacles. You could have had a career path trajectory, and I'm just using, the career but this could be in your home life as well. This could be like, I was set to get married. We were going to buy this house and we were going to do X, Y, and Z. And suddenly you're realizing, oh my gosh, this is not at all what I was expecting. I get the Nine of Pentacles, and that house in the suburbs is not, it's not me. I chose to follow someone else's plan, or the plan that, my parents told me I should follow, or the plan that society chose me to follow. And I'm realizing it's not so emotionally supportive. So it's time for me to walk away from that. So there is a sense here of walking away from something towards something that is going to be much more in alignment with your beliefs, with your perspectives, with what you want to commit to, and with what you love in your heart. Now, on the other side of the Three of Cups, we have the Ten of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Beautiful energy. And what's interesting is that this energy came out similarly for Gemini, just kind of in a reversed way. So if you do have any Gemini placements, or there's a Gemini prominent in your life, I would definitely take a look at their reading as well. But with the Ten of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands coming in on the other side, there is a sense of a new legacy. This could be a new, moving to a new home. Eight of Wands, fast moving energy. This is fast communication. This is I always look at it as getting into the flow. That, there may be a lot of things going on, but there's a sense of a lot of things lining up for the best for you. So there could be a sense here of when you kind of take a step back and you really look at where you're kind of holding back, I think, from finding the community that truly supports you, your belief system. There's a sense that all of a sudden the Ten of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, it's like all of a sudden everything's going to align. Meaning that if you, let's say all of a sudden we're like, you know what, you're right, I'm going to stop fighting the system at work. They're never going to listen. It's never going to get any better. They're never going to honor my value. And it's time for me to look for another job that does. And I'm going to look for people who hold my core values, who I would like to have as a sense of, these people as a sense of, my community. That all of a sudden that bigger goal for yourself is going from the Nine of Pentacles, where you could be stuck in that gilded cage in the comfort zone, going to the Ten of Pentacles, which is your ultimate legacy. It's ultimate wealth. It's the bigger picture. It's like, maybe you wanted the house in the suburbs, but now you realize that's not the end all to beat all. I want the farm where I can practice sustainable farming, because that's what I believe in now. I don't believe in living in the suburbs, scrunched in with a bunch of other people. My bigger, value. So instead of me sitting here as the emperor trying to assert my authority within my community, saying, hey, don't build any more suburban neighborhoods, I'm not going to support it at all by living in one of them. And I'm instead going to find the community that wants to maybe have a farming commune. It could be something as revolutionary as that, but there's something here around it changes your perspective, as wherever you got stuck here in the Nine of Pentacles, which was the comfort zone, or or that sense of everything's good, but I know there's more for me out there. There's a sense of like you opening yourself up to what that is as soon as you understand what the community is that you're seeking, or wherever in your life you feel like you're kind of railing against the system. That's what's preventing this Eight of Wands energy from coming in. And once you kind of stop railing against the system and you start choosing your heart and what you support and following that and finding the community that's in alignment with that, that's when everything lines up. And that's when your self-value is going to be, in the King of Pentacles, made self-evident to you. Now, with the Queen of Wands as your second underlying energy up here, that is you, Aries. That's your card in the tarot. So it's finding your inner fire again. It's finding that ability to bloom where you're planted, simply as showing up unapologetically as you. And it's beautiful energy, Aries. Now, I like how you have the Queen of Wands and you have the Emperor here. Both cards of yourself, but from different perspectives. One is someone who is kind of dictating from their throne. The other is someone who is creating. The Queen of Wands holds her wand of magic. I look at, she's kind of like the witch archetype in the tarot, and she's the one that can make sunflowers bloom in a barren desert. That's the traditional Rider-Waite tarot image on there. And there's that sense of, if she wants to make it happen, she does so where she is, through her own magic, through her own passion, through showing up unapologetically. She doesn't have to dictate to others what should be done or how things need to happen. She does it. And then through doing it, she attracts more people. She attracts the right people to her. She attracts the right circumstances. And that's how she starts to really bloom where she's planted. Now, with the Lovers, we have the 10 of Pentacles coming in again. So there's a sense here of that larger vision for yourself really coming from choosing what you love. Also, this could be even choosing who you love. This could be committing truly. Maybe not, this could be a sense of maybe where you're fighting your own self and kind of releasing a little bit of autonomy in your life or in your partnership with a romantic other. And it's time to kind of get off the throne and realize you two are in this together to build that legacy. It's almost like falling on that, leaning back on the person who's in your life to help you there. Now with the Moon coming in, it does say that the way is unclear. This does bring that kind of question of, but what if? But what I like is that there's a sense of, if you can hold, as you walk through the unknown, it is the heart that guides us. That is where our intuition comes through for ourselves. That's our emotional, spiritual soul connection. And so there's a sense of really letting your heart guide the way towards what is, your ultimate sense of, prosperity. Now, for the Emperor, we have the King of Swords. Now that could be an Aquarius in your life. But this is someone who is, this is a highly intellectual individual who sees things very clearly, who is able to state the truth very clearly. And there could be a sense here of someone in your life kind of stating that to you, of there's also a sense of knowing what you know, like being very clear as to what you do know, and being able to apply that from a perspective of wisdom in your life experience. And there's a sense here with the King of Swords and the Three of Wands. Maybe for some of you, the opportunity comes through using what you know, but again, not asserting it in a place that isn't willing to see the value in what you're sharing, see the value in what you know, see the value in your intellect or in the experience you have that allows you to have, be able to maybe teach to others something along those lines. So there's a sense of really standing firm in that knowledge, in the confidence that you know what you know. And that in turn will bring in the Three of Wands, which is new opportunity. And for some of you, this is a clear indication to say, it's time for you to realize that there are other avenues for your experience. There are other avenues that, there's a whole wide world out there. So there could be, again, another work environment, another field of work even that you could put yourself in. It could be maybe applying yourself in the home instead of in a work environment. If it's whatever it is, but there's something here where it says there's more opportunities out there to practice the knowledge you already have, or to share that knowledge with others. Now, with the Three of Cups, here's the Three of Swords coming in with the Seven of Cups. So for some of you, there's a sense of wounding that comes through, of heartache that comes in around support, community. It could be that, in the past, with the Seven of Cups and the Three of Swords, this could be where maybe it was very difficult for you to commit in the past to something. Maybe you were kind of always seeking fulfillment and weren't quite sure where to find that. Now, it could also be where maybe you were trying to find that sense of community. Like, do these people fit? Does this work environment fit? Are these people the right people for me? And yet it ended up each time kind of ending in that place of, well, no, I got hurt. They weren't the right people for me. This could even be for some of you where there was somebody in your experience, in a romantic experience, where that person maybe strayed a little bit or had a wandering eye. And that could be, something that's kind of at the heart of you being afraid to really be vulnerable again in a community or with another person. But I do get the sense here that maybe you, again, had tried to join something in the past and it just didn't fit. And I feel now, again, really, Aries, the sense is that there's always going to be people who see like we do. We just have to find them. There's always going to be a business owner who wants to run their business in a way that's in an alignment with, the core values that you hold, because that's also what the King of Pentacles speaks to. What are your core values? He knows what he values, and he's able to work with that in the physical, and he's not willing to compromise. There's a sense with the King of Pentacles of not willing to compromise on your values. Now, with the Ten of Pentacles, we have the Devil and we have the Five of Swords. So there's definitely a sense here of fighting, of a kind of combative energy here. So this could be a way of being where, maybe you've had to learn to kind of be in the Five of Swords energy, where you have to kind of just assert your opinion, your perspective, and that kind of win at all cost mentality, maybe because others in your life did try to, beat you down at some point. But there's a sense here of really realizing that you might be the thing stopping the Ten of Pentacles from coming in. It's your communication style. Now, it's interesting because I feel like, I don't know if it was your last month's reading or the reading before, but there was something about your communication style that really came in, and I'm seeing it here again. There's a sense here because swords are about your thoughts, but it's also about how we communicate. And so there's a sense that for many of you, that you might not realize that the way you're communicating can be very assaulting in a way, and I don't want that to turn you guys off or trigger you, but it can be something with the Five of Swords is someone who wants to win at all costs. They don't want to have that discussion. They don't want to have a, let's sit down and talk about this topic, or let's sit down and talk about how, the workplace could be better. They just want to come in and state why it's wrong, what needs to be done, and there is no further, why don't we see it from the other side? This is someone who just wants to state their viewpoint, and that's it. And the danger of that is that we can then end up pushing away people who truly do want to maybe incorporate some of our ideas, incorporate some of our perspectives. And we kind of stop it right there before it can even get to the place of the Three of Cups, where people can come together, because there's so much of this, like, just this is the way it is. There's a little bit of that coming in here. Like, this is the way it is. Why? Because I said so. Now, the Devil, that's what holds us back. So there's a sense of being held back by your communication style or by your perspective that it has to be this way. There's a lack of flexibility coming through here very much, Aries. And I think for many of you, to get to this Ten of Pentacles, which is this ultimate legacy, it could be the home of your dreams, it could be the bank account of your dreams, it could just be a complete way of living in the physical, where you feel like your values are being honored and your self-worth is being appreciated, that there's a sense of pushing it away through maybe not seeing that there are other opportunities out there, through not looking for other communities that might be more supportive of, again, your belief systems and the value that you bring to the table. And there's a sense of, once you can kind of get past that, there's a lot to come in. And yeah, so we have the Eight of Wands and we have the Knight of Coins. That is fast moving energy. That is a communication of a new plan. And yeah, here's the Ace of Coins. That's a new start. That's a fresh start. This is a new opportunity. Now, coming in with the Ten of Swords, it does say it's not coming in without a certain level of sacrifice. You have gone through something very difficult with the Ten of Swords. That is going through a very dark time in your life, or a very difficult time. But the beauty of the Ten of Swords is that it's the closeout of a cycle. And what you learn in going through that cycle is the Ace of Swords, which is right here, your third underlying energy. This is the clarity, the realization of the truth of what you survived, of that difficult time that you went through, and what you learned about yourself, what you now know about what you're capable of, or about a truth and a value that you now hold because of what you went through. This could be like saying, I will never work for somebody like that again because of how much it degraded my self-worth. And so I will only work now from this point forward for people who have this kind of work environment and who honor my value, and that's it. And if I have to jump jobs every 2 months until I find that, well, so be it. But there's that sense of having gone through that very difficult time in your life has given you a truth and a clarity about yourself that is allowing you to have a new opportunity to almost do it again, but from a place now where you're the king. It's like giving the king another pentacle, and he's like, oh, I know exactly what to do with this. I'm not going to squander this time. I'm going to plant the seed, and I'm going to use all my resources and everything I value to make this my 10, to bring this to my 10 of Pentacles, my ultimate legacy. And there's the plan. There's the Knight of Pentacles with the 8 of Wands. That is everything lining up for a clear path forward, for a new way to generate money, a new way to possibly live in accordance to your values in your life experience. 8 of Wands, fast-moving energy, everything lining up. There's a beautiful opportunity, but now for some of you, you might have already gone through this. It could be that you were stuck in this difficult time. You weren't able, maybe you were fighting against the system, and now you're on the other side of it realizing, wow, everything is lining up. And it did come down to how I communicate. It could be something like that. And now you're realizing I can do so much more. It's almost like having to see the whole, process that you went through. For some of you, you might be on the other side where you're still in that place of kind of, not trusting your heart. You might be trying to change broken systems or trying to assert your beliefs into places that, don't align with that. And it's just saying you can very easily solve that by looking for a community that does support you, that does see, that you don't have to feel like you have to be in the 5 of Swords energy where you are fighting or that every time you want to share your perspective or your beliefs, you have to, get into an intense argument. There's a sense of almost like knowing your audience. It's coming through here very, very strongly. And for some of you, there might actually be a support system that's just waiting. It could almost be, and I just got this kind of intuitively, this could be like where maybe for some of you, it's like your family or the closest people in your life are like, we're here for you. We want to celebrate you. We see what you're doing. We believe in you. And you are not turning to them. It's almost like maybe you're not trusting them, or you feel like you have to get it from someplace else. And it's almost like there's a little bit of the, what do you call it? The Wizard of Oz kind of theme coming through of like, you've always had the power, or it's always been here in the home, or, there is no place like home. There's a little bit of that. So maybe that is just for one or two of you, but there's a sense of that coming through. Okay. So we have 6th ray of devotion, number 43. Let's see. This is going to be your final card here, Aries. So let's see what's coming through here. 43 says, the 6th ray of devotion bestows the qualities of persistence, unwavering focus, and intensity of feeling. It is a gift of the strength to move mountains with your will for what you love. Yes, love. That is the following your heart. When the 6th ray of devotion appears, you are being given guidance that even if you do not seem to have much worldly power right now, the power of your beliefs can conquer obstacles. The Archangel Uriel helps you receive the blessing of the 6th ray now. You're receiving a blessing of the 6th ray of devotion. It is serving your soul growth and will help you develop faith in your principles and trust in the power of your beliefs. Yes, trusting that there are going to be people that support those beliefs, that those beliefs are going to find a home and that they will lead to success for you. It says you will be able to recognize and appreciate the extraordinary strength within you and realize that you have enough willpower to keep working towards your dream, overcoming any obstacle until you are divinely successful. The sixth ray reminds you of the power of love, which can conquer anything and everything. Love is an empowering, motivating force far stronger than fear. Love is the foundation of authentic spiritual devotion. Devotion to the divine empowers us to bear burdens, overcome obstacles, and manifest all manner of beautiful visions in a world that may at first assure us that our dream is not possible. The sixth ray blesses you with spiritual stubbornness and sacred rebellion against any odds. The challenge with the sixth ray is to not become so anchored in your beliefs that you become fanatical, judging others because their beliefs are different. You can be unwavering in your adherence to your belief system and yet honor the fact that there are as many paths to divine union as there are people, that the ways the universe calls you home to love are unlimited. If you do not honor this, you may try to pull people from their own path, which can create unnecessary struggle for them and unnecessary karma for you. The best way to honor the blessing and minimize the challenge of this ray is to share your truth with an open heart and an open mind. Share without agenda. For those working with this energy, the power of mind and emotions will come into focus. You may need to channel your emotional and mental power into worthy projects or practice balancing your intensity with lightness of heart and playfulness so you don't become harsh or despairing if things appear not to be working out the way you believe they should. Then your faith can remind you love always finds a way. When Archangel Uriel connects with you, a tremendous power, the power of earth, is brought to your aid. Uriel brings healing energy and an ability to cause real effect in the physical world with your mental and emotional power. Remember, you are here to shine your light. Others can choose to use your light to see by until they are ready to discover their own inner light or not. It is not anything you need to worry about. Simply live your truth, trust in your heartfelt beliefs, and devote yourself to love. Finally, as the sixth ray has a special connection to religion and love, you are asked to hold the healing power of love in your heart for all those who are evolving through a life experience involving religious practice. This can help counterbalance the judgment and fear that exists in the hearts of many towards religions that are not their own or that have been the vehicle through which abuse of has taken place. Religion on this planet at this time needs love, support, and encouragement to evolve, heal, and grow in whatever way serves divine love. And I will leave it there for you, Aries, but there is something very much centered around love, following your heart, and understanding the power that that wields more than just simply trying to fight a system. This is about living as you are, shining your truth, truly blooming where you're planted with the Queen of Wands, and understanding what that truth is. You know a truth about yourself, you know what you value, you know of what value you bring, and it's time now to bring that into the world unapologetically, but with an eye to those that will support you. Again, without agenda or without trying to convince others that they must follow or see in the same vein as you. All right, I will leave it there. I wish you all a very empowered and loving rest of your day, Aries. If you'd like to book your own personal reading to take a look at what your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time, to bring some light into an area that is in darkness or unclear to you right now, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in your next Soul Illumination reading. Bye, Aries.